Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady Dee.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Dom Life Podcast. And it is Memorial Day weekend.
It is.
Now, I know a lot of you all are getting your boats ready. You're going out to the lake.
It's a little bit cold.
Or you're setting up your barbecue. You're going to have a bunch of friends over. You're going to have a major party. But keep in mind why we celebrate Memorial Day. You know, people always say Happy Memorial Day. And for some, it's not a happy day for them.
Right.
This weekend is all about remembering the soldiers who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yep.
Were not able to come back home to be with their family. So while you're celebrating, while you're on your boat, while you're at your barbecue or your party, just remember the reason we celebrate this. I think Billy Ray Cyrus said it best.
Okay.
All gave some gave all.
Yep. And it's not just, it's first responders.
Yes.
The club did some stuff for.
Oh yeah. They had their Memorial Day party yesterday.
Yes.
And they've were giving discounts and stuff to military members, first responders, fire.
Obviously,
EMS,
if
police.
you're a club member, you
Yeah,
have to be a club member.
You got to be a member of the club, but it was good. They did bring out any military or first responders out just to kind of
acknowledge them,
recognize them. But again, it's a rough day for a lot of people to remember the ones that, you know, that made the ultimate sacrifice. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So on to our podcast. So last weekend we did our demos.
We did.
And we had a great time doing them.
We did. And then
we know a lot of people had a great time with us while exploring and learning and feeling a variety of things. But we found out the day after that there was a little bit of drama that went on.
Just a little bit.
So some things were done. Some things were showed. Some relationships are probably gone now because of it. We don't condone activity of trying to diss or be negative towards people.
Yeah, it was a situation that we had no business and we didn't know about. We did our whole podcast. We did our stuff. But after the fact, we started seeing some social media posting.
A lot of stuff.
And it just brought to the forefront that we really need to do some, not just one, but probably multiple episodes on etiquette.
Absolutely.
And it covers such a wide range of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I'm not judging anything that happened because I'm not in the middle of it. I don't know. I don't want to be the person who says you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that.
Right.
I just want to talk in general about etiquette because it's very hard during breakups. We know some people that have, beyond that, had some breakups from the group and different, you know, just like the extended people that we know.
There have been relationships, there have been friendships, there has been business partnerships throughout our 3 to 4 years in this that we have witnessed, that we have saw. We have saw people take the high road and we have saw people take the low road.
Yes.
Now, for last weekend, we saw neither during because
Yeah,
we was
we had
busy
no
doing our
idea.
demos. It was only after that we seen it. And you're right. We decided we're going to do this episode on etiquette. We are going to talk a little bit of etiquette for swing lifestyle and BDSM. They do go hand in hand with each other.
Yes.
There is a lot of etiquette that blends, from one to another, and then there is some that are more specific to one or the other. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about etiquette, because we actually had an issue last night when we was at the club.
Yes.
That we'll get into as far as dungeon etiquette. The way to act when you enter a BDSM dungeon.
Right.
And every dungeon is different. Every dungeon has its own rules.
And this is at a swingers club with
Yes.
music downstairs, and things are happening in it's a little bit different environment.
Yes.
But so why don't you explain what etiquette is?
All right. So probably one of the best definitions that we could find about what is etiquette, it is following the rules for polite and respectful behavior in a specific situation or social setting. And I like that because I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm big on respect.
Yes.
I think everybody you meet, you should have a high standard of respect for them, whether you're at work, whether you're at a outside event, whether you're at a lifestyle club, no matter where you're at. I think everyone should treat everybody with respect. That don't mean you have to like them.
Right.
But there is some sort of respect that is shown. Even people that I dislike, that I've had arguments with, that I've had falling out with, there is still a level of respect that I will give them
in an interaction.
Yes.
And that makes total sense in general, because there are social niceties and norms that we deal with, and
Correct.
that's how you interact at work.
Correct.
And the thing is, we're losing those on social media.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, not just in every time I read comments, I just get very disappointed in our society not,
Correct.
being polite to one another.
Oh, it's so easy to go home and sit behind a computer screen and just put out whatever you want to put out.
Bash people and
Right.
hurt people. And
back in the day before that, the only way you could talk about them was basically if they was probably around, and you
to their
wanna,
face,
yeah, you
right?
wouldn't gonna say shit like that to them. But
Or
now
to their
it's so
friend.
easy to just do that, and
And
I don't agree with it. I don't condone it. I don't want to do it. Don't air out your dirty laundry to everybody, especially if it's any disrespect to somebody. They say there's always three sides to every story. There's person A, person B, and the truth.
right.
So always keep that in mind. Just want to throw that in there real quick.
Okay, so one of the big things for etiquette, and it is one of the harder things, I think, depending on if you're crossing over from swingers to kink
Mhm.
to BDSM. One of the things we ran into in the beginning of Club Tempted lifestyle stuff, where
Right.
it wasn't just swingers, was don't judge others' kinks.
Right. And it's people say in the kink lifestyle, you will hear them say, don't yuck somebody's yum.
Yes.
If somebody has a kink or a fetish that they enjoy, you don't have to like it.
Right.
But don't yuck on their yum. Don't make fun of them for what they enjoy. They're doing something that makes them happy,
Yes.
that they can fulfill, that makes them feel good about themselves. The last thing they need is somebody telling them they're wrong for doing it, or it's stupid to do it, or making fun of it. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
And that's the hardest part, because especially with the crossover,
Yes.
when you're seeing bruises, that was one of the big ones where people are like, that's disgusting.
Right.
How can you? But a lot of the BDSM community, we enjoy having those marks.
Right.
Those are marks of honor, marks of accomplishment, marks of ownership. We like having bruises on our butts.
Correct.
Or our wherever.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. And that was one of the whole reasons of us starting the Dom Life, us starting the podcast. At the lifestyle club, you mentioned BDSM, and again, they're like, "Ooh, I don't want bruises. I don't like pain," and there is so much more to it
Which we've done a
that we've
billion
yes,
demos on and
and that's why we try
episodes
to do
on.
right. But again, it may not be for you, and that's fine.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with you saying, "No, I do not want to try that." But don't make fun of somebody who enjoys doing that.
Yeah, it's really hard if you're judging somebody who is very proud or very,
Right.
and it's not just that, there's a lot of different kinks. I mean,
Oh yeah.
as BDSM,
Right.
are you looking at swingers and going, why do you do that? Why do
Right.
you have to be open
You
minded,
have to be, yes. And even down to us. I mean, we go to the lifestyle club. Are we swingers? No. We
right?
we do not classify ourselves as swingers.
Correct.
We go there to interact. We have made tremendous amount of friends,
Yes. Yay.
connections, relationships. We, and we like showing them the BDSM side. There is several of them that are interested in learning the BDSM side, but not once have we ever been pressured into swapping. We haven't lost friendships because we don't swap. We make it pretty clear that, hey, we want to build a friendship.
Right.
If it ever gets to that point, we're definitely not sitting here saying, no, we will never.
Yeah. It's an
But
individual.
right. It takes a bigger connection for
Right.
us. And
Right.
I don't look down on people that go to the club to swap. That is what they enjoy. That if they can do that and be happy, the more power to them.
So
Absolutely love them for it.
we don't judge other people's kinks.
Correct.
This is where things start. Like, let's say it's our first interaction, right?
Mhm.
We've met at the club and interactions. So sending messages, there's an etiquette
There is.
to messaging people.
There is.
And
there's a
there's
right way and there's a wrong way.
Master Nick, what would be a wrong way to message somebody?
Well, let's say we meet a couple and we hit it off and we just spend the night talking and chatting and getting to know each other. The very first wrong way to do it would be if I send a message to the other couple's woman.
That would be definitely, if you exclude the male,
Yep.
if this wasn't something you guys agreed upon,
Correct.
now that is not a
Right.
good situation.
The best way to do
A
this,
dick pic. That's the best way.
absolutely.
No way.
No, it is not.
No, it is not.
No, it is not. The best way, and
I'm sorry.
and once you build the connection and you set the guidelines and the rules, maybe that is okay.
Maybe daily, you like conversations. Right.
But if you just meet and you haven't made it that far, the best way to communicate outside when not in person, a group message, you include everybody.
Right.
That way everybody's a part of the conversation. Everybody knows what's going on. And in that group message, that's where you can lay out your rules and what is expected. And if you make an agreement with your partner and you make an agreement with the other couple that it's okay to privately message the opposite sex
Then that's something.
then that's fine. That's the standard that you set. That's the rules and the guidelines that you've done.
So if you've never met, then I would say the appropriate way is to approach same-sex person.
The man should approach the man or the woman should approach the woman. It shouldn't, starting off meeting, it should never be opposite sex messaging.
Or let me take that back, because we have some dominant. So if you were doing BDSM, the dominant could be the female.
Right, the dominant could be the
and then
female,
you
right.
would be addressing the dominant,
Correct.
not the submissive.
Correct. That would be for the BDSM side of things.
On the BDSM
Yes.
side, my rule is you talk to Master Nick first.
Right.
I am not interacting with you. And so I have gotten messages from people via social media
Right.
that I won't respond to, because I've made it very clear in the profile that Master Nick is the person you need to speak with first. Have some respect.
Yep.
So that's
and just for you listening, that is also one of the quickest ways to lose friendships and potential partners I have heard many people say that the minute somebody breaks a rule like that, they are completely done. They don't want nothing to do with them. They are
Yes.
blacklisted. So
Yes.
if you are in the swing lifestyle and you're looking for potential partners, that is the quickest way to get eliminated from a couple that you may find interested. Everybody has the rules and their guidelines. Find out what those rules and guidelines are and respect them.
Another really bad one, because we all have social media profiles that may be lifestyle only.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people don't want to maintain that. So they use their normal profile.
Correct.
And then as you build friendships, you're inviting them into your personal profiles.
Correct.
If you message a friend of a friend and say, hey there,
Yeah.
this is a problem, because
Yeah.
there's most of my friends on social media, a lot of them are
Mm-hmm.
not lifestyle people.
Right.
They're high school friends or whatever.
Right.
So,
Yep. So you're onto a point there. Yes. We'll take Facebook for example. A lot of people have their own Facebook profiles, like you were saying, and sometimes they will create a lifestyle Facebook that they share. If you do get close enough to them, become friends, and you are friends on their personal separate Facebook profile, you don't talk lifestyle shit on there.
right.
And you don't reach out to the people that they're friends with to talk about their lifestyle shit.
Right. And don't respond to a text or like a posting. I'm sorry.
Correct.
Don't
With something
respond with
lifestyle.
something lifestyle.
Correct.
If you can see their kids and everything on this profile, then
it
it's
needs to
their
be there.
personal.
It
You
is their
have to be
personal,
aware.
Absolutely. You kind of take it as their vanilla profile, and you have to respect that. Now there is some people that have their personal profile that they don't care to show or to share their lifestyle experiences, their outfits that they wear, the clubs that they're going to. But that is something to find out. And when you are entering the lifestyle or the BDSM, that should be one of your rules or your boundaries or your guidelines for when you do meet people. If you become friends on my personal Facebook page, it is public to everybody, my family, my friends, my kids. So that's one of the guidelines that you should put out there to let people know that you're meeting. That way they know right off the bat not to be posting on those things.
So that leads into DMs. Everybody's like, "Hey, can I DM you?" Not everybody, but when that happens, "Hey, can I DM you?" What are some etiquette things related to DMs?
Well, again, it's the respect thing, and men has gotten a very bad reputation
What?
with
No
just
way.
sending random dick pics.
Now, I have seen the opposite side where a woman has said, "Wow, at least I know what I'm getting."
Right. But
Just teasing.
in those situations,
I'm not
if
one.
if it is talked about, if you message and like, hey, do you want to see it? And they say yes, then by all means send it. But the very first thing that you want to do is send a dick pic. I mean, really?
No.
That's
Or, "Hey,
one
can
way
I
of
DM
getting,
you?" And then just
and
say,
then boom,
"Hey."
drop the D bomb
Or,
right there.
or, "Hey." Oh, that was your DM? Hey?
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, you got to work a little bit
Yeah.
in a
It takes a little
conversation.
bit.
It's, consider it a little bit. You just need a little bit more. How am I going to separate you from the rest of the people?
Right. I mean, this is your interview process. If you're pursuing another single or a couple, and you get the opportunity to message them privately, yes, this is your interview. This is where you show the best side of you. Why they
Yes.
want to be with you, why they want to pick you, because I guarantee you're not the only one sitting in their mailbox. There could be hundreds others. You got to find a way other than your dick to set yourself different from everybody else. That is your golden opportunity right there. Talk, let them see your personality and what kind of characteristics you have. And again, be respectful about it, because they are opening up their lives to allow you into it.
Yes.
Don't disrespect that.
Absolutely. That You hit that nail on the
I
head.
know it, and I just thought of that on my own too.
I
I'm
know.
pretty proud of myself
Just
right there.
pop that
I
out.
did.
All right. So then what about there's also etiquette around meeting up or not meeting up. Like,
Yes.
How do you either say, "Hey, I'm not interested," cuz all I hear or all I've been seeing recently is we've been ghosted.
Oh yeah, ghosting is a huge thing, and it's not just in the lifestyle; it's in the dating world too. It happens. You see a lot of shit on social media about that. And when you get older, here's what I think: the older you get, the harder it is to schedule and to find time because
Yes.
whether you've got kids, whether you've got grandkids, whether what kind of job you've got, shit comes up, shit happens, life happens,
All
life
the
gets in the
time.
way. Um, But again, I'm going to go back to the respectful thing. If you do have a meet and greet or a date planned with somebody and something comes up last minute, just fucking tell them.
Yeah. No ghosting. Like
I mean, don't
ghosting
just
is
not show up and not message or fall off the face of the
and
earth.
here's the thing that I don't understand, and maybe this is because I'm older. Maybe it's because I'm older. If we had interactions together and at some point I decided, I just don't think you're right for me. I don't think this meetup, I'm kind of feeling a little bit odd or
Right.
different, or I'm
A
just not into it.
bad gut
Right.
feeling.
I'm going to just send you a message and say, it's been really enjoyable talking to you,
Yep.
but I just don't think what I'm looking for is what you have.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I think you're a great guy. I don't have a problem. I just don't think I'm
Right.
interested right now.
Right.
And rather than it be crickets, right? Everybody
Mm-hmm.
talks about how they'll go, hey, we're having really good conversations. And so if you've said something that offended, I'm not trying to fix what you've said. That
Right.
you've said
You've
it,
said it. It's done.
it
It's
is
over
done.
with.
But what I can do is say, you know what? I really appreciate all your time here, but I'm not interested.
Right.
And then move on.
I don't understand why people can't just own up and say that stuff.
Right.
The whole ghosting thing. I mean, before I met you, and I'm sure I told you the story. I mean, yeah, I was in the dating world, and I tried dating, and I ain't gonna lie, it sucked. But I can't count on my two hands how many times I showed up for a first date and told the woman I was with during dinner, "This is the last date we're gonna have."
I did the same thing. I wouldn't go to dinner. I would go out for drinks because I didn't even want the commitment of a
Right.
full dinner.
Well, I like food, so I was good with food. But believe it or not, and this is
It
this
always made the date better. Like then
yes,
you could just
the
talk.
pressure was off. So I went to Nashville once to meet somebody. I drove to Nashville to meet somebody to have dinner, and
Master Nick.
while we was having
I made
dinner,
it too easy for you.
no, yeah, but I told her halfway through dinner that I wasn't interested in her. She seemed like a great person, and we're gonna finish this dinner. We'll make the best of it. After dinner, we went bar hopping, and we was out till 4 or 5 the next morning. Had a great time.
Right.
There was no pressure. She knew that I really wasn't interested. She was a great person. It was
Sometimes
fun
it's
spending time.
attraction or
Right.
not attraction.
And it goes back to swing lifestyle, BDSM lifestyle, any of that, the etiquette. If you're into them, let them know you're into them. If you're not, just tell them.
Why did this world get to be so difficult in this? I mean, why can't people be, if you can bash somebody on social media and post really negative comments to somebody saying, hey, look at this beautiful rainbow or whatever it is.
Right.
Why can't we be honest face to face? Why can't I just say to you? And that's what I did. I really pissed somebody off one day because I told him, I warned him, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm into fitness, I'm into health, I'm into all these things. And, no, it's good. I'm like, I just want to make sure these are these recent pictures.
Right.
We met up and they weren't. And my first response was, hey, I'm really glad you met out, but I don't think you were truthful with me. Hey, I could lose weight. I said, look, I don't have a problem.
I could win the lottery and have $1 million too.
Right. I'm just telling you that I'm not interested. So there's an etiquette there both ways. Let's be honest.
Yep.
And then the etiquette here is don't just let crickets happen. If you're
Correct.
not interested, people are investing their time.
Yep.
Now, if you've had that leads into first interactions. So there are also a lot of postings on, hey, we met up with another couple, we played a little bit, we afterwards, we're interested, but all of a sudden they're not responding anymore.
Right.
Did we do something wrong? What should we do? We've sent a couple of messages. I think that you're just going to have to understand, or they've
Right.
responded, oh, we're just busy, or oh, we're just this. At some
Right.
point you just step back and say, okay, well, I don't know, that it seems like you may not be interested anymore, and that's totally fine. We appreciate you stepping out with us, and if in the future you're interested, message us.
Right.
The other person's not being honest, you be honest.
Right.
Let's not.
Exactly.
I think that there's just a whole lack of etiquette that's happening
There is. And
lately.
it's the communication and the honesty side of it.
Yep.
I mean, if we're with somebody and they do something to piss us off, or they do something that, there's something about their characteristic that we don't like, or something about, do it respectfully. I mean, you don't have to be mean or hateful, or go off on them because of it, but just, I mean, a very simple out is, you all seem like a great couple, but you're just not for us. Thank you for the opportunity and meeting, and best of luck in your
Yeah.
future endeavors. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that and be done. Move on. Go on somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
just the common courtesy and respect of doing that.
Yeah.
I
Versus
don't get it.
ghosting, and
Exactly.
versus, dragging it out for so long.
Right.
So there's some other discussions, right?
Oh yeah. There's always more. And that is moving into the BDSM side of things.
Yeah.
That's a huge different part of etiquette.
Yes.
We actually had one of the things we're going to talk about from last night.
Yes.
Well, actually, two of the things from last night.
Yep.
While we was at the club, while we was in the dungeon. So if you participate in BDSM dungeons, most of them have rules.
Yes.
That you can find what their rules are. Now, if you go to a true BDSM dungeon, you will have to read the rules, agree with the rules, and usually sign, your name. Yes, I agree to this. I understand this. I will stick by this.
Because there's safety.
Yes.
I mean, you have to cover these things when you're
Exactly.
dealing with a BDSM dungeon.
When you go to a lifestyle club,
it's a room like other
it is
playrooms.
a playroom, just like the other playrooms.
Yes.
There really isn't rules posted. They do kind of go over this in your tour.
Yes.
We seen several tours last night. I overheard several attendants giving the tours last night, and it is mentioned. But again, this is your first night. It is new. It is exciting. You're taking in a lot of information. I get it. You forget some of the stuff that they tell you on the tours. It happens. Not a problem.
Right.
We're here to help with that.
Yes, we are.
Rule number 1 for a dungeon: keep noise to a minimum.
Yes.
If you walk into a dungeon, there is no reason to scream. There is no reason to talk loud.
Look what I found.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what are they doing?
No reason for none of that. You can ask questions.
Yes.
But
don't interrupt the scene.
Do not interrupt the scene. But if you're talking to somebody, whether you're asking questions or getting more familiar, talk in as quiet voice as you can so that they can still hear you.
I just want to say
loud.
we had a very, very large group that came in that were interested, and that group was perfect.
Yes.
Respectful. They watched.
They stood.
They were quiet.
They waited. They watched. They waited for someone to approach them. They talked quietly what their interests were. They were phenomenal. They stood there for 20, 25 minutes.
There
watching.
were a couple of people that from that group, right? That came up, and you introduced them to like the electric wand, some floggers, some new people.
And so also, like you said, don't interrupt the scene. So if you walk in and you see a person tied to the cross, cuffed to the cross, chained to the cross, restrained at the cross.
Touching the cross.
And there is somebody else using various implements, whether it would be an actual implement, their hand, regardless. If you see that, that is not the person to go talk to.
Right.
They are in the middle of a scene. They are thinking, so I don't know what they do.
But
I know what I do. I'm paying attention to body reactions. I'm paying attention to where I'm at. I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm thinking ahead of what am I going to use next. I've got all of this going through my head.
Right.
The last thing I need is someone coming up to me and stopping me or asking a question.
It's one of the hardest things when you have the electric wand, because people are like, ooh, it's the wand.
Touch it.
And so they come up to you while you've got somebody up on the cross. Right. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened enough that it's mentionable.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, oh, can I feel that?
And most of the time, I don't mind, because more than 95% of the time, it's somebody new that I'm using it on.
So you're not deep in a scene.
I'm not deep in a scene.
Got it.
I'm talking
but again,
to them.
They have to be careful. It is
right.
It is an
interruption. You are still taking time away from somebody who has asked for my time. But yes, if I'm in a scene with you, or I know, like last night, I had my lady Kay. She wanted some electric. I did, kind of amp up the scene a little bit for her. If I'm playing with somebody that is a regular that I've played with many a times before, then yes, I am in a zone. I'm constantly thinking,
hyper focused on them,
and I do not want to be interrupted like I was last night. So the other thing is, before I move on to the biggest one, is you've got to know your limits on alcohol.
Right.
There is no reason for you to come into a dungeon if you are having a hard time standing up.
Right.
Plain and simple. We all drink while at the club. We all respect alcohol.
Right. And we've all had days where we had one or two too many.
Yes.
You literally left the dungeon
on my birthday
because you were in there and you had a couple of drinks, and
I had more than a couple that night. But yes, and again, it was one of my birthdays.
Right.
And everybody went into the dungeon, and I followed into the dungeon, and I'm leaned up against the bench, and I can tell the room is spinning. My head is foggy. And I could have stayed there and watched, but I felt it was best for me to completely exit.
Right.
And I don't remember who was standing next to me, but everybody was having a good time playing. I looked at them and I said, I'm not in the good shape to be in here. I'm going back outside.
Right.
And that's where I went.
Because there's safety.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of the big things you're dealing with, trying to make it's as safe as possible.
Yes, it has to be safe.
Like last night, we had a situation where one of our friends was using an implement on another friend, and she ended up starting to bleed.
Yep.
And you didn't realize it right away, but the implement has little pointy things. And so nobody noticed it for a little bit.
Right.
And then when one of the friends noticed it, it was like, all right, we have to put a stop to it because you're now bleeding.
Right.
We cleaned everything. We had to sanitize everything. She was done getting played with for the night, because again, there's not a lot of people there that want to deal with somebody else's blood.
Right.
So there's a whole etiquette.
It was the respectful thing to do, because not everybody can look at the sight of blood.
But could you imagine if that play were happening while somebody was drunk?
Oh, yeah. Because it may not have stopped. It would have kept going. Who knows where it would have went? Who knows who it would have bothered? There's a whole snowball effect that could have happened there.
Yes.
So yes.
What happened?
Definitely watch the alcohol. It's okay to have a few drinks. Know your limits. I have drinks. I like to get just to that, ooh, I'm starting to feel good phase. And I like to ride that line. That's the wave I like to ride. Some nights I do go more than that. But again, I know my limits. I know where I need to be. And some nights I don't need to be in the dungeon. Now, last night, oh, one more thing. Before I go back, one more thing. If I've got my stuff laid out, and I'm not the only one with this, if anybody has their implements laid out, you do not walk in and just start touching and grabbing shit.
Right. Right.
You will get kicked out of a dungeon faster than you can say whoops if you come in and start doing that. So last night we did have somebody that was a little too intoxicated, came in. I had all my stuff right there beside me, laid out. And the first thing they did, they came in and like, ooh, what's this? And they started to reach their hand down, and I stopped them. And I've got 5 floggers laid out.
Mm-hmm.
I got a paddle. I got my yardstick. I've got several other things. And they point to a flogger and they say, ooh, can I have that whip?
The answer would be no.
The answer was hell no, you can't have
It is
that.
not a
Number
whip.
one, it's not a whip. And I am not going to loan out any of my implements. For one, if you don't even know the term of it, to me, you don't even know what the hell you're doing.
Right. And again, we are about education. So
Yes.
if you came in respectful, stood off to the side, if you asked any one of us here, hey, can you show me a little bit?
Right.
Could you, but to go up to something that isn't yours and
Right.
just go, ooh, look pretty, let me grab this.
Yeah, no. So they did not get any education from me that last night. And because of that, there was no respect. The way they acted, I could obviously tell they'd had too much to drink.
Yeah.
I would have loved to let them experience the flogger and the paddle. I love letting people experience that, but
you have to approach
they
the
just
right
came
way.
in and they immediately rubbed me the wrong way.
Yep.
And I was done at that point with
Yeah.
them. But yeah, so do not interrupt the scene. Do not come in loud. Preferably do not come in drunk.
Right. Don't touch other people's
do not
stuff.
touch other people's stuff.
And we've had this situation too, and Club Tempted was amazing and immediately took care of the situation. Don't touch other people.
Exactly.
Do not touch other people.
Yep.
When you're in a dungeon, that is a submissive and a dominant, or a top and a bottom that are doing a scene. You don't come in from the side and start touching.
Correct.
Now, I have interrupted scenes, but they're my friends, and I've gone up and I've like kind of lifted up an implement and gotten the nod to go ahead and use it. I enjoy doing that for my friends because most of the time the dominants are doing the more heavy core stuff, and I bring out the sensory sensation play stuff, and they're like, sure, come on up. But I am approaching it in a certain way.
You're still getting consent.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah.
And normally the person that is topping or dominating sees you. You get consent from them to walk up there. And then you get consent from the person that you're wanting to use it on. So it is consensual. But yes, you cannot walk into a dungeon and expect to start rubbing somebody's back, legs, butt, boobs, any of that. I mean, if you walk in and you accidentally bump into somebody, that's an accident. I'm sorry. You apologize. Everything's good.
But don't think you can.
But don't think
just because there's a group of people around one submissive
that is rubbing and doing all does
that
not
you
give
can
you permission to
jump in.
Right.
That is not
that
acceptable.
Is no.
And Club Tempted takes that really serious.
Yes, they did.
They will take away membership and you are done. So
that's exactly what they done.
So you need to be aware that that is a rule in the dungeon.
Yes.
Just like any of the rooms. You have to have consent.
Yes.
From the people
whether it's a dungeon or a sex playroom. You cannot just walk in and start touching or doing what you want to do. Everything has to be consensual. So
collars is the other one. We've talked about that many times.
Collars. You do not touch a submissive's collar. You can ask permission. Some will grant you permission to touch it, to feel it, to see, what's written on it or something like, or to take a closer look. And some dominants will say you can look, but you're still not going to touch.
Right.
And that's the rules that they have. Respect their rules. But yes, do not just walk up. And it's it's hard this day and time because we do know submissives that wear just a gold necklace,
Right.
and you may not know it's a gold necklace. So here's the other way of looking at whether they're a submissive or not is if this is a person you do not know, you shouldn't be touching anything on them to begin with,
Right.
whether it's a necklace, a collar, an earring, anything. If you do not know this person, don't touch them.
Right.
Compliment them on it. Ooh, I
Can I
love that
see it,
collar. I
or
love that necklace.
right.
Can I get a closer look? Can I touch it? But again, it goes back. If you don't know them, don't touch it at all.
One of the things that we just talked about is cleaning up.
Yes.
So one of a big thing of etiquette for dungeons is after you are done using any of it. I mean, one of our Christina was cleaning up all the implements because, once there was blood,
Right.
everybody was like, but you clean those
You clean
implements
regardless.
before.
And even that, again, you said dungeon, even a playroom, the sex playroom.
Yes.
When you're done, clean up after yourself.
Yes. Wipe down, pull
wipe
out
stuff
the
down, pull off the sheets.
There's
If you
laundry baskets
if you
everywhere.
used a towel, make sure it gets put up.
Don't leave used condoms on the floor, people.
Yeah, there is a special place for them to go, and it's called a garbage can, and there's one in every room.
Right. They've got everything at Club Tempted set up so that it's ease of use.
Yep.
And just clean up after yourself.
It only takes a few minutes.
Exactly. And you know what you've touched.
Yep.
You know what you've used. And in the dungeon, we're very, very...
Yes. There's the cleaning wipes. Everything is there.
I saw one time, Master Nick, that somebody took a video of you flogging their woman. Do you remember?
There's been several, yes.
So in those situations, what are the kind of permissions? What's some etiquette around photos, videos, stuff like that?
All right. So there is etiquette, and then there is rules. So obviously, number one, etiquette is if you don't know the people, you shouldn't be taking pictures of them or videos to begin with.
Yes.
Let's go back to Club Tempted rules. If you take a picture, everybody in the picture must give consent.
Yes.
So if I want to take a picture of you, I have to put you against a wall.
Yes.
There cannot be anybody in any angle, frame, whether they're facing the camera, whether they're away from the camera. There can't be anybody in that photo except for you. For group photos, everybody has to get against a wall.
Right.
So that is a rule.
Yeah, you're not looking down over the dance floor taking a picture.
Correct. So if you are taking a picture or a video, you obviously know the people and you have permission to take that photo, whether you're going to share it with them or not. But then comes everybody wants to post to social media.
Right.
So you have to know the rules and the guidelines of the people in that photo, whether or not they're okay with you putting it to Facebook or Instagram or
our group
FetLife.
Asks
yes,
every single person, even though we are the best of friends, every single person, every single picture, even if it's an innocent picture
absolutely
that's going on FetLife.
Somebody could still recognize where this picture is taken and can call them out. And if you don't want to be called out, that is your right. People have to respect that. But yes, for us at our parties, we always have usually an invite on Facebook. It's private. Only the people that are invited can see this. So 98% of the time after a party, everybody will upload the pictures to this group.
Yes.
And then they'll say, can we post these?
Can I post this picture or that picture?
Can I post this on Instagram? Can I do this there? And then from there,
tag you. They'll even ask, can I tag you?
Yes. Everybody will then reply, yes, you're good or no. There has been sometimes people said, no, we don't want that posted. Okay, not a problem. We leave that one off and we go on to the next. But you have to have permission. FetLife, I mean, they try to do good, but there's no way of stopping it. Before you post a picture on FetLife, there's a box you have to click that everybody in the picture has given consent.
Right.
FetLife don't know if everybody give consent, but it covers FetLife from getting sued from somebody that was tagged in a picture that didn't give consent. So
Right.
now it falls back on that user because they click the box that, yes, everyone give consent. So you have to have the respect and the consent
We
of the
had a
people.
situation. So we're dealing with the dom life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are on a constant basis are either recording voices, recording. We
Right.
have to know your name, or are you going to use a pseudo name? So there's situations like that. And we had a situation where we posted pictures where it wasn't even a full view of a person,
Right.
but it was in the background.
Yep.
And we pulled them off of one area as soon as we realized it,
Yes.
but we didn't get it off of another. And they reached out to us and said, "Hey, even though that has a person's body, somebody might recognize, and it has to come down."
Yep.
And we completely agree.
We did,
We
yeah.
weren't trying to.
It completely slipped through our focus and through our inspections of the photo. And they did get posted. And yes, the minute it was mentioned to us, we was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
trying to hurry up and get there and get that taken down.
Because again, sometimes you're looking at a picture and you're not thinking.
Right.
So there's a lot of etiquette around
Yes.
pictures and posting. And it's one of those things that I would never want a picture of me posted
Right.
without my consent, especially when you're talking lifestyle pictures.
Right.
So now you're talking pictures where I might be exposed, where body parts might be exposed, or I might be, hugging and kissing up on a friend,
right.
my friend, like, a woman or a man or whatever.
Right.
And posting that picture would cause.
It could cause issues.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure my mother-in-law would be like, what is this?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And, there's a whole lot more to talk on etiquette. We will make another episode of it later on.
We'll dive deeper. This is kind of
deeper.
a surface one.
This is a very surface one, and we did go through a lot of it. Again, the main thing to remember and the main thing to follow on etiquette is respect.
Yeah.
If you put respect to anything we mentioned here, you will have the right answer on how to do it. So again,
I like that.
Keep that respect. Be respectful to everybody you come across, everybody you meet. They may not be respectful to you, but two wrongs don't make it right.
Exactly.
So always show someone the amount of respect that you would expect to get out of them, regardless of how they are. And you will always do good and will follow a good line and a good lead for people to follow.
I think, again, I'm going to go back to the fact that I'm a little bit older. I did not live my life out in social media.
Correct.
I do not. I mean, we do this, but I don't live my life on social media.
Yeah, no.
I'm not. And I think it's wonderful because I get to follow all of my friends' travels and their family and I think that's amazing. It's just not who I was because I'm riding that cusp.
Right.
So,
we had Polaroids.
Yeah, I'm going to snapshot. I was like so excited for instant photographs. But I really don't live my life on social media, so I don't air my stuff on social media.
Correct.
People that do, if they live their life on social media, then they're posting.
Yes.
But you have to consider the fact that it's necessary to be respectful to people in your life, even if they're not to you.
Exactly.
Because you are the better person. I am always going to want to be the better person. Yep. Maybe not in my private life. I might shut my bedroom door and badmouth and say things and bitch and complain and moan because I need to air it.
Get it off your chest.
But I'm not going to do that on social media because I want to always be looked at as a person who gives and receives respect.
Right. Absolutely. I feel the same way.
I know you do. You think it's part of your job as a dom too. And I appreciate that you talk to people in a very respectful manner. You're never talking down to people. I just really appreciate that.
Yep. Good.
So
hope y'all enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. There'll be more.
There will absolutely be more.
Oh, next week. What's next week, Master Nick?
Next week
is our
1 year anniversary
Yay.
of the Dom Life podcast.
Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it.
Yep. Next week will be the last episode for the year. We're not done. It's not the last episode, period.
It's the last episode. Bye, people. We love you. No, I'm just kidding.
But it is our last episode to complete the year.
Yeah.
And now I have an important question.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's options. Right now we're in season 1. The fact we've made it a year, does that mean we go to season 2? Because I look at a season as 4 seasons in a year, and we're still on season 1. It's just really confusing.
Okay.
Regardless of the fact, we'll figure it out. Everybody have a happy, safe Memorial weekend. We'll see you next week.
We love you. Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com, where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.